Alright guys, let's see a demo on building HTML forms. In this demo we are going to create a form and then we will style it using CSS. So for that purpose, here I found one HTML form on codepen.io. This is just a simple sign up form which looks something like this. And to create this sign up form, here I have taken one index.html file with the standard HTML document, and inside the style.css file we have as usual CSS resets at the top, and then from here our custom styles are starting. And to the body I have applied few normal styles, and each and every element is a border box. And if we look at our page here, that looks something like this, that is totally blank now. Now let's have a form inside our HTML document. So this is the form we have to create. So first of all, let's have a form tag, and inside the form there are two attributes, that is action and method. So let's define those two attributes. For the action we will define one URL to which the form data will be set. So here right now we can say this just index.html. So that's the URL. If you look at here, that's the index.html URL. So that's why I have taken index.html for the action value, and inside the method let's say post. And now save it. Let's have a refresh. Nothing, right? Till now we haven't taken anything inside our form tag. So let's have a look of our layout here. So first of all we need sign up. So inside the form let's take one h1 tag, just write sign up. Yeah, now save it. Now give it a refresh. Here we have our sign up. So let's style our form. The very first thing we'll create a container or wrapper for this form. So to the form only we can apply some amount of width and then some background color. So let's grab the background color. So that's the background color code. So here let's target our form. Let's apply max width of maybe 300 px and margin 0 and auto for getting it into the center of the page. And then let's apply background colors that we have copied. Now save it. Let's have a look here. Here we have that form. Now first of all, to the body we'll apply some amount of padding all around. Sorry, just padding. Let's say 32 px all around. Now save it. Let's have a look. Okay, this is the form. Now to the form also we'll apply some amount of padding, say 16 px. Okay, cool. So now let's target our h1 tag here. Font size, let's say 32 px. Color, say, okay, we can take somewhat, save it, and text line center. Save it, then give it a refresh here. Here we have taken the font size a bit bigger. Just keep it 24 only. Okay, that's nice. And font weight, let's say 700. Okay, perfect. Now let's make it 400 and some amount of border radius, say 8 px. Save it, then give it a refresh. Here we have. Cool. So far so good. Now let's have a look to our layout. Here we have. Okay, if you look at our form here, you will find that the sign up form is broken into two parts. the first part is your basic info from here up to here, and the second part is your profile. So first of all, we will take field set for the first group and then another field set for the second group. So let's first of all style our first group. So let's take content. After the sign up, let's take one field set. Inside the field set, we need your basic info with one. So let's have a listen tag, and inside the listen, let's take one span for one, and then we'll have your basic info. Okay, cool. Then after the listen, we will take our input tags. This input tag for name, email address, so this will be input type text, this will be input type email, and this will be the input type password. Then thereafter we have radio, but we have two radio buttons, so let's get all those things first. Okay, so here we'll take input tag type text, that's fine. Okay, before that let's have a label tag for the name. So here let's have a name, and we'll define one ID name. As we know, to connect the label as well as input, the ID attribute value as well as the for attribute value will be the same. So here also we'll say name. Now this label as well as this input is connected. Okay, cool. Now save it. Let's have a look here. Okay, here we have the next we have, let's copy and paste. We need three input first for name, email and password. So here also for the label, this time we'll say, after that we have email actually. So here let's say email, this should be the type email, and this for also email and ID also email, and then thereafter we have password. Here also we'll define password, and type will be also password, and here also password. Now save it, then give it a refresh. Okay, so now after these elements, what do we need? We need these all these radio buttons. So first of all, after this let's have input. No, before that let's have a label tag. Label will be age here, and we will not connect this label to any element. Then after this label we have input type radio, and then again we have a label under 13. So let's have input first, and this time this should be radio, and after that let's have a label for under 13. So here we'll define under 13, and similarly same label. So radio button, this will be over 13. So here let's write over 13. And one thing we are missing from in each and every input level, that I will come back again. So first of all, let's have each and everything for this, and we will group this label as for the as inside a div. Okay, cool. And okay, now we need to connect this label as well as input, this input and this label, this input and this label. First of all, let's have a look how our page looks like. Let's give it a refresh. Okay, age under 13 over 13. Now name is connected, fine, email is also connected, password is also connected. Now under 13 as well as this radio button is not connected. So first of all, let's connect them. So one thing we can do, we can wrap this radio button inside label tag only. So we'll get rid of this 4 first. Okay, here. Save it. Okay, not this one. Okay, label, and then similarly this thing also. Save it. Now let's see these are connected or not. Connected. Over 13 is also connected. Okay, cool. Now we are missing one thing, that is name attribute inside the input element. So from here, so here let's define name attribute that will be saying name, and then for email will be saying email, and then similarly for this input name p, password. Perfect. And then here also. Now as these two radio button will be working for the ages, so the name attribute value will be also the same here, just because so that we can select between them. We have a choice here, either we can select under 13 or over 13. That's why we have taken radio button. So as these inputs should be in the same group, so that's why for the name attribute value will be the same. So let's define maybe age, similarly here also age. Now save it, then give it a refresh. Okay, now as earlier we were selecting, both these elements were getting selecting once we were clicking those buttons, but now among under 13 and over 13 only one will be get selected. So let's have a look here, then let's click here. You can see, so among them now we can select just one, just because we have grouped them with the name attribute value. Actually we have taken the same value for inside the name attribute value. Alright, so this is our page so far. Now let's have a look here. Now we'll start styling our page or forms. So the very first thing, legend. Okay, let's target our legend. Okay, cool. Legend will say font size, say 20px, and color will keep the same color. Okay, and for the legend span, so here is that span here, legend span, that is 1. So for the span, first of all let's say display inline block, and then we'll say width of, we need a circle actually, so we need height as well as width same. So let's define width, say 16px, as well as height also 16px, and border radius 50%, and we'll apply a background color. So let's grab the code, color code actually. So this is the color code. Now okay, now save it, then give it a refresh. Here we have your basic info, that's the like what we have actually, that's a legend, and then inside this legend we have span. So for the span, let's say the font size 16px, and we'll increase the width and height, we'll say 40 as well as 40, and let's define the color also. White, not F4, white actually. Now save it. Now save it, then let's go to our page, give it a refresh. Here we have, actually we need this one in exactly center of this circle. So to do that, instead of saying inline block, we can say display flex. Okay, and we'll say justify content center for making them horizontally center, and then we'll say align item center. Now the one will be in exactly center of the span, you can see. Okay, and then we have basic info as well as one in the same line. So what we can do, to the legend only we can apply display flex. We'll say align item just center. Perfect. Now let's have a look. Okay, cool. Now we can decrease the width. Actually 28 would be working fine. Let's see. Okay, that is fine. Now let's apply some amount of margin right of say 12 px. Perfect. So we are done with this legend so far. Let's have a look here. Yeah, we are done with the legend. Actually now we need some space from the sign up. So what we can do, we can target our field set. Field set will say some amount of margin top. Margin top will say 32 px. Okay, perfect. So we are done with this legend. Now we'll move into the input and label. So here we have, so first of all let's apply class to all the input. So class will say form control. Here, then here, and then again here. Okay, so now let's target our form control. First of all, we need this form control as a block level element. We want the width 100%. So we'll say first of all display block and width of 100%. Save it. Let's have a look here. Perfect, nice. And then we'll also need to target our label. So before form, for the label also we'll say display block. Okay, yeah, that is fine. And let's apply some color to our label. Same black color we can use, and some amount of gap actually from top and bottom. Let's say margin bottom, actually yes, margin bottom, we'll say 8 px. Nice. And for margin top, okay, sorry, here let's say 12 here. Yeah, that is fine. Actually top is 12 pixel, fine. And for the bottom we'll say 8 px, left and right 0. Yeah, now this is fine. Okay, now let's style our form control again. Yes, now first of all let's have a look. Okay, we need a background color first. Copy the color code, padding top and bottom let's say 8 px, and left and right let's say 12 px. give it a refresh. Perfect. But we need to get rid of border, so let's say border 0. Nice. We can increase the top and bottom padding. Perfect. Now if we look at our form here, there is some amount of border to the top. So to apply that, let's apply border top. One pixel solid. Let's grab the same color code. Save it, then give it a refresh. Now we will target the border, will change the color. Let's inspect here. So here we have form control to the border top. Let's make it a bit dark. Yeah, this is fine. Nice. So here we have form control. Now if you look at here, if we click here, you can see we do not see any kind of border once we focus on this element, on this input element actually. But here if we focus on our input element, we can see there is a blue line coming. Actually this blue line is what you can say, actually this blue line is an outline to this input element that is coming, that is by default. By default, on focusing input element, you will find a blue line border, a blue outline actually. So we can get rid of this. How we can get rid of this? To get rid of this, we can directly say outline 0. Now let's have a look, give it a refresh. Now let's focus on this. You can see now we are not getting any blue border around the content or around the input element. So that's the password, name John xyz@gmail.com. let's change the color actually from black. By default form control is having color black. Now let's give it a refresh. So we will make it somewhat different here. Let's have a look here. Let's write something. Yeah, this is fine. We can increase the font size also. 18px. By default 16 pixel was good. Yeah, this is fine. And right now we can do one more thing actually on this input element. So here once we click, we are not getting any focus on these elements on this. So but we can apply on in our form actually. So here if we click, this should be gets highlighted. We can provide some style for on focusing on these elements. So to do that, we use form control. There is a pseudo selector that is known as focus. So actually this was happening earlier, that's the by default that we were getting outline. So now what do we need? We need just border color. We are already having one border top, so we just define the border color, same border color. Let's first of all try this green color, save it, then give it a refresh. Now let's focus one, so that is looking nice. Here also, that is looking nice. So we are getting some hint that this input element is now focused. So here we should be writing. Okay, now let's move into the radio buttons. Here we have that radio buttons. Okay, now let's provide for the form control for this space actually here. So we'll apply some margin bottom to our form control. Let's apply margin bottom, say 24px, save it, give it a refresh. So nice. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's look at our layout here. Okay, I think we are done with the first part of the sign up form. Now let's move into the second part. So if we look at our layout here and inside our own page, everything is fine so far. Now we just need the second part. So we'll start from here, your profile. So we'll again take one field set element. So let's take after here, that's the field set. So let's close this. Let's take one more field set, and inside this field set we will have legend. Again the same legend, we will copy and paste, save it, but this time we need your profile and 2. So here let's write 2 and then your profile, save it, give it a refresh. Perfect, your profile, nice. Now we need bio. This is a text area, not an input element. So instead of using input element, now we will use for this text area. So let's apply after the legend. Let's take one label first, label, and then here we'll say, what do you have? Bio, and after the label we'll take one text area. Perfect, name will say bio, ID also will say bio, and here also we'll say bio, so that this label as well as text area should be connected. And we will not apply any kind of column. Column provides width in the horizontal direction or in on the basis of characters, so we don't need any column. Let it be like 100% we want. And for the rows we'll say just 3 rows, save it, give it a refresh. Okay, here we have that text area, but the thing is that right now text area is also an inline level element, so that's why it is now taking 100% width. So for that purpose we can actually apply the same class that we have applied to our inputs here, form control. That the same class here we have applied the form control. So we can apply that form control each and every element, each and every style this text area will inherit. So display block with 100% on all of these. So, and actually if you look at our layout also, you will find the same style is on the text area also. So let's apply the same class here, say form control. Now let's refresh our page. Perfect, we can find that, see, same style. And there is one more thing, whenever you take text area element, there is an icon at the bottom here. This provides us a way to, if we have large text or large message, a big message, so we can increase or decrease the size of this text area using this icon. You can see, you can find that. Let's refresh it, get back to normal. Here we actually, if you don't want to provide your users to resize this text area, then you can apply, there is a property, you can get rid of this icon actually. So if we target here text area and we'll say there is a property resize, we'll say none. save it, you will find that icon will be gone. With refresh, you can see now we cannot resize this text area, but usually we should provide this icon for the user so that if they want to write a big message, so they can increase or decrease the text area box. So get back to normal, save it, then give it a refresh. Again we got back our icons. So we are done with the text area also inside the second set of profile. Now after this we have a label, job role, and then we have a drop down menu. And to create a drop down menu we use select. So let's, after this text area, let's have a label first, and inside the label we will have job role, and of this label we'll take one select, and the name, let's take, what do we have? So here we have like developers or different developer role. So for the name, let's take, just define role, and here for the ID we'll say role. That will be working fine. And now inside the select we are having different options, and inside, and these options has been categorized for the web, for the mobile, and for the business. So we can directly take options inside the select. We know that, we have already seen how we take options inside select, but before taking options we need to categorize our options accordingly here. So we should be having a web group, and then we have a mobile group, and then we have a business group for all of these options. So to divide options into different group, there is an element that is opt group. So before taking options, first of all we'll take opt group. This is the opt group element, and opt group element accept one label attribute, and this label attribute, whatever the value you will define, say web. Here we have web, so for that purpose we have defined web, and inside this opt group let's take options value. First of all we need front-end developer, so let's apply front-end developer here in between, front-end developer. Okay, and similarly here also for the value, save it, then give it a refresh. Here we have select. Now if we click that, we can see that opt group, that label web is coming. So now this front-end developer is inside the web opt group. Okay, cool. So now let's have different options. Here we have PHP, Python, Rails, web designer, WordPress developer, these all things. So let's take all those options. After the front-end developer we have, what do we have? PHP, Python, Rails. So here instead of saying front-end we'll say PHP developer, and then here we'll say Python developer, then here we'll be having Rails. Save it, then give it a refresh. Front-end PHP, Python, and one more thing, after Rails we have web designer, WordPress developer. So we need to copy 2 times more. Let's copy this. Okay, so after the Python we have, what do we have? Web designer. So here let's say, no, this not here, here actually, here Python developer will say web designer, and then here we'll say WordPress developer. Save it, then give it a refresh once again. Okay, front-end PHP, Python, Rails web design and WordPress developer. Now first of all we will style this select here, then we'll get different options, mobile, business, and these all things. Okay, that's fine. We can take, okay, before styling we can take those contents, so we don't have to worry much. Now this time we will copy our opt group from here, we'll paste once again, and this time we will be having mobile. And how many mobile options we are having? 3. Okay, so 1 2, actually let's make it, okay, yeah, this is fine. 1 2 3. So let's get rid of all of these 3 from here, save it, and then we are having Android developer, iOS developer, and mobile designer. So first of all we have Android developer, and then mobile designer, and after that we are having, I hope, iOS developer. Okay, before it was iOS developer, so no problem, we can take after that iOS developer. Save it, give it a refresh. Let's have a look here. Okay, first of all to the body we'll apply some amount of padding so that we should be having some space here at the bottom. So where we have, here we have our body, so let's apply padding of padding bottom, actually say 300px, save it, give it a refresh. Nice. Now let's click this. Okay, front end and web, mobile. Now we need, what do we need? We need business owner and freelancer. So we'll have one more opt group after that here. This time we need just 2, get rid of the last one. Okay, and we have business owner. Okay, and this time we have freelancer, and this would be business. Save it, give it a refresh. Let's have a look here. Okay, we have web, front-end developer, these are all developers for the web, and then mobile, and for the, and then after we have business. So we have taken all those options inside this select group. Now we just need to style our select group or this drop down list. So let's target our select here. Okay, so now we'll say, not just directly, you can take select. First of all let's define width 100% and display block. Save it, then give it a refresh. Perfect, nice. Alright, now let's see our layout here. Okay, so here also we are having no border to our select, but we need some same background that we have already taken. So for that purpose let's apply background color, same style, actually we can copy and paste, padding, border top, outline also. Nice. And what do we need? Let's give it a refresh first. Okay, this is fine, and we haven't applied a background color. Yeah, this is nice. And then similarly we can apply focus. Let's copy and paste from here, and then instead of saying form control we'll say select, not dot here. Okay, now let's give it a refresh. Okay, you can see that. And similarly, if we click here, okay, we are missing that 4, so here we'll say save it, give it a face. Perfect, nice. And let's apply the color also, same color that we have applied to our form control. Copy and paste here, save it, give it a refresh. Okay, nice. Perfect. Now let's have a look here again. Okay guys, so we are done with the select or drop down list also. Now we need these interests, and these interests are checkbox button. That means we can select multiples, this one also, this one also, this one also. So what do we need? Now we have already taken one here inside this one. If you look at this deep is radio buttons, so we will copy and paste the same thing and then change our type into checkbox, and we'll change the content also. Let's copy here, and then after the select, let's paste it. So this time we have interest, and this time we have checkbox name. What do we need? Interest only, so that each checkbox should be in the same group. And here we'll say, what do we have? Development, design and business. So first of all, let's have development, and then here again we have checkbox, this time again interest, here we have business, and after that we have design. So again let's copy, save it, then we need design, save it, give it a refresh. Here we have now interest. Perfect. Here we have all those interests. Now we have at the end a sign up button. So this button, so once we click this sign up button, the form should be submitted. So after this we will have after the field set, both the field set actually. So let's collapse this field set, here also field set. Now let's have a button tag, and inside this button we will have sign up. Save it, give it a refresh. Perfect, here we have that sign up. Now let's target our button. Let's apply background color. This one, save it 100%, and then padding top and bottom, let's say 16px, and left and right let's say same, all around 16px. That would be working fine. Save it, then give it a refresh. Perfect. And we don't need any border 0. Perfect. Okay, sorry. Now let's apply some amount of border radius also, say 6px, and color would be white. Alright, so here we have our sign up button. Now we'll apply margin top of say 24px. Okay, here we have margin, and then what do we need? Let's see here. We need some amount. Let's increase the font size. Font size will say 18px. Save it. Okay, perfect. So Now let's go from top to bottom. What do we need? We don't need anything here so far, and then here also. Let's have a look. So each and everything is fine. Now let's get rid of that margin, sorry, padding bottom from the body tag. Here we have. Alright, so now we have our form. Fill up our form also. Let's say John XYZ at gmail.com. Password, anything. Age maybe over 13. Your bio, maybe let's write some dummy text. Your bio. And by default, if you look at this, the text area has something different font family. So you can change the font family here for the text area. By default, text area does not inherit the font family. Here we have applied font family OpenSense for the body, but this text area is not inheriting. So for that purpose, we can target our text area. Let's keep it here only. Text area will say same font family here. Paste it here and then give it a refresh. Okay, now let's write something. You can see the same font. Now we are getting the font family, that is OpenSense. And rest of the thing, let's target anything. Development, let's select all. Now provide sign up. Perfect. Alright guys, so this is how we design and develop HTML forms.